with me as we drive the last mile here on Ambergris Caye to the south side, the complete south side of the island. We're already about 4.5 miles south of town. To my left is Las Brisas. If you make a right over here, then you're going to the Tarpon Bay area. So we're gonna drive this last mile stretch so you can see what's going on here at Club Caribbean. Come on, let's go. All right, we're going down south here on Ambergris Caye. This is again that last mile stretch after the Tarpon Bay area, which is on the lagoon side. So on the left-hand side is the Caribbean, and these are homes that you see along the way. They are all coastal homes on my left-hand side. So this area, it kind of gives me a feel of like Hopkins or Placencia before it really boomed. Here we see really nice single family homes. Many of them are already Airbnbs or operating as rentals. Now you'll see the electric lines also continue all the way south to the bottom of the island. So that's something that's nice. But also when it comes to access and utilities, you'll note that the road isn't in the best condition. We are taking it slow on our trip down. But the mayor Wally, mayor of San Pedro, recently announced that they are planning to pave the south side of Ambergris Caye. Now, he has not made it clear how much he's going to be paving or how many miles south he's going to be paving, but there is a property under construction all the way at the tip that was called La Serene. New investors, a new developer has come in to take over that project. I don't know if it's going to remain that name, but I have a feeling that they were probably pretty influential in making that decision to get the road paved down here. But you'll see there's some really charming, cute homes. When you think of like those tropical Caribbean beachfront homes, many of them fit the bill here. And actually, it's pretty interesting because the south side of Ambergris Caye was developing faster than the north side at one point. Because we need a bridge to go to the north side of Ambergris Caye beyond the Boca del Rio area, and you do not need a bridge to come down here to the south side. This is the area that was growing faster. So some of the homes that are down here have actually been around for some time, but we are starting to see a lot more construction happening here. Now, we do tend to see that people who are purchasing on the south side over here tend to be looking for more of that residential area. You don't find the big condo complexes like you see on the north side. There are a few, but especially where we're going now towards this part of the island, there's more single family homes, I guess, with the exception of that new project on the south side of the island that's recently restarted construction. So this is an ideal part of Ambergris Caye for somebody who wants something in a place that's quieter, not massive construction going on right now, but still the really beautiful views of the Caribbean. The one thing that I will recommend is if you have not yet watched our video of going from San Pedro town to Tarpon Bay. Tarpon Bay is where we started this video. I'll put the link in the description below so you can watch that to see what those 4.5 miles look like. But you'll see that it's getting less and less dense as we continue going down to the south side. Also, I know a lot of people ask about restaurants and grocery stores. In that Tarpon Bay video, you will notice a handful of restaurants. Happy's Tequileria, for example, Black Orchid, which is really, really delicious. Hula Bar, which is probably one of my favorite establishments here on the island because it's so unique and charming. And the drinks and food are so delicious. And you'll find a few more down on the south side as well. And then a small corner store is a grocery store. So you're not necessarily going to have tons of shopping options down here, but most people who are here, they'll go into town to get whatever they need in order to get their groceries or pharmacies or anything along those lines. So this side at this point is currently developing slower than the north side. When you look at a map, you see that the south side, the south part of Ambergris Caye is just has much smaller land mass compared to the north area over the bridge. So a lot of developers were coming into the country and looking on the north side because that's where they were able to get larger tracts of land, hence the construction that's going there. But there is something very charming about the south side over here. So primarily people who are looking for a quieter area, nicer single family homes in this area too, especially along the coast. So you will note that there are going to be some puddles. We just had about a week of very intense rain here. It's nice to see that this is all still drivable though, but here's my tip for you all. If you're driving a golf cart on the island and you have never driven through puddles before, make sure you go slow. I have seen some people go really fast through them just wanting to get to the other side. And what happens is the water floods the engine and they stop, right? So you'll just stop right there in the middle of the puddle. After a few minutes, it will eventually restart again, or you can always just take WD-40 and spray it on the spark plug, I think it is, to get it started up again. But don't try to race through the puddles, because chances are you'll stall as you are going through it quickly. So I've made that mistake a few too many times. All right, coming up here. Look at the cute little puppy. There's a home over here on the left-hand side. They have a really, really beautiful pool over here. It's an infinity pool on the second level, looking right out. These are some new casitas, Belize seaside casitas. I've seen those get advertised on Airbnb before. She's done a cute job with those homes. And then over in this area, this is, again, all that Club Caribbean area of Ambergris Caye. I love this castle. Casa de Gringo Pobre. House of the Poor Gringo. This is a new home that's been under construction. This has been over the last few months here. Beautiful. Really nice. Has that tropical modern feel to it. And we have, again, folks, the Caribbean on the left-hand side. Now, on the right-hand side over here, there are some parcels that are for sale starting at about $30,000. So they don't necessarily have road access at this point, and they're definitely not cleared. You'll have to do some filling there. But for somebody who's looking to get in at an affordable price on the south side, that's definitely one of the best ways to do that. This is a 2-bedroom home for sale, going for over $1 million. I believe it's close to 1.2 or 1.3. Has character to it. All right, continuing down, and you may in the distance be able to see the great buildings. We're going to do a swoop in there. That's the complete end of the island. And again, you still notice the electricity poles. So public water stopped already. So anything that's beyond a little bit, Las Brisas, anything beyond Las Brisas, which is where we started the tour, just anticipate to be on your own water system. And that's really not uncommon to be on your own water system throughout the island. Anything north of the bridge, you're on your own water system. So think rainwater catchment, a large cistern to hold on to the water, and then you'll have that water pump to bring water into your home. Some people will put an RO system. Some people will put just a simple filtration system under the sink if you want to be able to drink from it. So, all in all, for it being really heavy rain, the roads really aren't bad. But I will tell you, in the tropics, things tend to dry up pretty quickly here. This is a beautiful stretch. I love the natural vegetation. You get some natural pines in there, palm trees. Yeah, very pretty. But if you've been to the island before, you can see there's a pretty significant difference between the south side and the north side. I know those lots sold for about $450. And then the other thing that I will advise to you folks is that sometimes you'll see for sale signs up and the lot is actually no longer available. This is not uncommon. Sometimes people are just, on Belize time when it comes to picking up their for sale sign. I know some realtors do it as a way to keep getting leads in, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend because it's disappointing to hear that a property sells. But it is just something to be conscious of if you're driving around looking at property. Just because there's a for sale sign doesn't necessarily mean that it's for sale. All right, so we are coming up here closer to the south side, and you'll see there's still a couple of homes scattered throughout, but primarily a lot of undeveloped land here. Now, I will tell you, I don't know if we're going to be able to record inside La Serene. We're going to give it a try, folks, but because it is under construction again, then we may not necessarily be able to film if they're not comfortable with it. But we're going to do what we can so you can see the latest and greatest happening here on the south side of Ambergris Caye. So, oh, that's a cute pink home. Again, very tropical, kind of what you think about when you think about a home here in Belize. All right, so on the right-hand side, this is where they're storing construction equipment and materials for the property that they've started up again. And just as some backstory to this property, this is when you're flying into Ambergris Caye, you're coming in by boat. It's all the way there at the southern side, so you'll be able to see it. Okay, I do see a sign that says warning, no trespassing. So I'm going to just go in and turn right back around because they may have a security here, but I wanted just to show you the revival of this property, which is huge for the south side. All right, so we're going to turn around because there's some people there, but you can see it's a really, really big property. It's 5 buildings in total, and they were doing steel construction here. And just to give you the rest of that backstory, they were financing through Atlantic International Bank, and the Atlantic International Bank ended up closing down shop, so they were not able to get the rest of their funding from them. And then they were scouting out new funders, but it was over COVID time, and there was not many big loans and funding that was happening for international properties. So recently a new investment group came in earlier this year, probably about April of this year, 2025, and started up that project again. So you can see on the right-hand side, we just turned around because that's the last part. On the right-hand side, you can see that's mile 5.5. And something else that you will notice is the SACNW. That's the South Ambergris Caye Watch Community. So within the south side over here, once you get to the south part of town and where the pavements stop, there's a strong network of people, neighbors, people who live here who have a private South Watch group. And so it's donation funded, but they do have a patrol for this area just to have somebody keeping eyes on things, to have that extra set of eyes. So that was your tour of the Club Caribbean area. If you're interested in learning more about this area here on the island, or if you're curious about what property prices are here, we do tend to see beachfront property starting under $300,000 here, which is awesome pricing. Reach out to us. We'll also put a couple listings in the description below so you can jumpstart looking at properties, but reach out to us, folks. We'd love to hear from you. My name is Rachel Jensen, broker owner of Lunar Realty Belize, and hopefully we see you down here in Paradise soon. Bye, everyone.